Troy Reich, welcome to Off the Record right here on our YouTube page for fast facts. But then, Troy, before we formally start, I want to ask you first, what is your best UAP game or best UAP memory?
I would say the moment I found out I was going to be able to play, which was kind of last minute, so that was really exciting. That's one of my favorite memories. But in terms of best game, I would say the last one against UE because my whole family was there, and I probably had my best game of the season. So that was really exciting.
All right, hello online world, hello Ka-OTR. This is Off the Record with Migs, Bustos, and right here we are on our Fast Facts episode, and today we are joined by PBA Draft applicant all the way from San Francisco, California, currently as of this interview, Troy Reich. Troy, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us here in OTR and Off the Record.
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. Excited to get into these fast facts.
All right, so let's do it. Let's start with this one, wildest basketball game.
It's easy. I think I have to go with Philippines versus Australia. One of my first games in the Philippines.
All right. Why is that?
I think the fight was a little unexpected. So that was a pretty crazy time. I think one of the, not just for me, probably one of the wildest basketball games in Philippine history.
Yes, I know that you were there in the Philippine arena. So, of course, maybe just a look back from your perspective. How was it like I know you were in the bench. And I know you were there mediating everybody. What was that like? Can you take us through it?
It was crazy. I wish I could give you like a better memory of it, but it honestly was a blur. Like everything was happening so quickly that I kind of just went with my natural reactions. And I was so new to the Philippines. I had been there, I think, less than a month at the time that I didn't even know who was who at this point. So it's crazy to look back now that I've had a little bit more time in the Philippines, but that was definitely a wild basketball game. I can say that.
All right. So now, Troy, your transition, how was the transition from 5-on-5 to 3x3, and then eventually you're going back to 5-on-5 again?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's almost a completely different game. I felt like I was like relearning basketball, all this stuff there's no fast breaks, and even how you set screens, how you play defense, how you interact, what's important. It was completely different. So I love that kind of mental challenge. And then also I think it's really helped me improve as a basketball player as I move back to 5-on-5 because 3x3 is all about versatility. So I was guarding, international quality guards on the perimeter in the World Tour and stuff like that. So I feel like that's going to serve me well moving back to 5-on-5. And it was just good to kind of challenge myself in a different way on the basketball court.
All right, Troy, who is your ultimate basketball idol?
I have to go with Tim Duncan, Wake Forest and Spurs legend. That's been my guy since I was young.
Biggest rival on court?
Biggest rival? I honestly don't even think I could come up with one for this. I try to give my best every game I play. I don't think there's a particular guy who it's like I'm fixated on going against him.
Maybe I will rephrase the question. Maybe the biggest team that you like going up against, even in your high school or your college days?
I think maybe going up against just the best always. You know what I mean? You get excited for those games. I mean, I'm giving a flattering comparison maybe, but in college in the U.S. it was always against Duke, and then when I was in the UAP, it felt like Ateneo was kind of like that team. So whoever is the top team, you know what I mean? It's kind of, they have the media attention too. So I think everyone gets a little bit more excited for those games.
A follow-up question, Troy. Of course, you played for Wake Forest. It's a Division I team. Tim Duncan came from Wake Forest. Just for the perspective of our viewers, what's it like playing in the US NCAA? What's the atmosphere like?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. The fans, the attention to detail, everything is so like from your diet, your nutrition, your sleep. You have the cryo chamber. You have, we took chartered planes to our games, which looking back on is absolutely crazy. So that was just a great experience that I'm so happy I was able to be a part of. And looking back, and even during the time, it was unreal. Like the stuff we got to do, the places we got to go, the stadiums we got to play in. It was a really great experience, and I'm always happy I was able to do that.
All right. So again, Troy, good luck in the upcoming PBA draft. So now I will talk PBA. I will ask PBA questions. I will start with this one first. Let's do it. Dream PBA team.
Whichever team wants me, honestly, that's my answer. Whichever team drafts me, I'm gonna give it my all and do what I can. Because to be honest, like obviously I didn't grow up in the Philippines, so if I'm being 100% honest, I didn't watch too much PBA basketball growing up, so I really don't have a strong connection to one particular team. I'll just be excited to whatever team drafts me. I'm just going to give it my all.
All right. So what's it like being a Phil Am or Phil foreigner, at least for some of our guests, to play and to be part of the Philippine basketball scene?
It's cool. I mean, I think it's different than talking to a lot of my friends from Wake and stuff. Being purely a foreigner, I think it's really tough. I think it's great to have I feel at home in the Philippines. I have the connections, I have friends, I have family. And even though I'm not, playing in technically my home country where I was born, I still feel very at home in the Philippines, and everyone's been nothing but good to me. And it's great to be able to play basketball and still feel like you're kind of at home in a sense.
All right. So knock on wood for this question. What has been your wildest, or is there any wild basketball related injury?
Yeah, I think my wildest was in high school. I did a turnaround jumper and I came down and I broke my foot. And I didn't know it at the time. I think this was the championship game. Oh no, this is a semifinal game, and the championship was the next day. And I was like, I have to play. I have to play. I was like, it's just a bruise or something like that. So they taped up my foot all the way. It was basically like turned my shoe into like a walking boot, and I was just carrying it up and down the court. And we ended up winning the championship of that tournament. So that's really one of my few on-court injuries. I've been lucky, like you said, knock on wood, but that's definitely a memorable one for me.
So wait, you broke your foot. How is it now?
Well, this was a long time ago. This was like in high school, but it's good now. It's good.
It's good now.
But
It's good now.
yeah,
All
but
right.
after it was crazy. So I broke my foot. I played another game, and then I had to sit out like 3 months after that because I had a broken foot.
Wow. All right. So good thing you're okay now. That was a few years ago.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm
So
good
now I'm sure, Troy, that you've had much experience, have much knowledge, and have went up against different guys right here in the Philippines. But maybe just to on top of mind, who do you want to match up first in the PPA?
Match up with. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure we're going to be guarding each other, but Gabe Norwood is one of the guys I look up to, one of the first people I met in the Philippines. So it'd be an honor to play against him. Definitely looking forward to that. And then all the good bigs in the PBA, you know what I mean? It's a tall task, but Junmar is definitely the guy that you aspire to do your best, I guess, to stop him or to play somewhat at his level if you're going to be a PBA center, PBA big. So that's definitely a challenge that I hope I get the chance to partake in one day.
What would be your first PBA jersey number and why?
21. That's always been my jersey. I wanted the Tim Duncan thing growing up. So we'll see. I don't know. I think there's like retired jerseys and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's taken by one of the teams already. I feel like that's kind of a popular number, but if I had my choice, that would be the one.
All right. So for this one, I know you mentioned this earlier that it wasn't really, there's not really a big connection to begin with. All right.
Yeah.
But maybe just for the context of this question, is going pro or PBA, at least for this one, your ultimate dream? Or yeah, as I mentioned, going pro, ultimate dream, and why?
Yeah, if I'm being 100% honest, I would say making it to the PBA is a dream, but it's not my ultimate dream. So being a professional basketball player and playing at the highest level in the Philippines that's an honor. So to be able to be drafted in the PBA would be a dream come true and blessed and something I've been working towards my entire life. But I feel like I've been pretty consistent from the beginning. My ultimate dream is always to represent the country, to play for the national team, to wear our country's colors. So I got, I guess, a kind of a small taste of that, but if I ever got to do that again, I feel like that'd be number one for me.
All right. So now, given, of course, that you'll be drafted and signed, let's claim it. Where will you spend your first paycheck on?
Oh man, I mean, if I'm going to tell you the truthful answer, it's going to go right in the bank. I'm really like trying to save as much as I can. But maybe in terms of fun stuff, maybe this can be my little plug too. I have a sports card podcast. I'm really into NBA and soccer sports cards. So maybe if I get like a bonus or something nice like that, I'll treat myself to a sports card.
All right, treat yourself. All right.
Yes, exactly.
For this one, if you're gonna treat yourself to a winning shot, you have the ball. Let's say game is tied. No. Let's make it interesting.
Okay.
Down by one.
All right.
Down by 1. You have possession. 5 seconds to go from an inbound. If you're to take a winning shot, how would you want it to be?
I would want to, I think, got to be a 3-pointer. I'm going to say whoever our star player is, top of the key, top of the 3-point line, I set a back screen for him to head towards the rim. Drop both players go with him. I pop out for the 3, open at the top of the 3, and it goes in. Game winner.
I like how you described that in a play-like setting.
I really
because,
really crafted the image for you there, huh?
Yeah, you crafted the image like a playboard, like a coach drew it up.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So, but that's a 3.
Well, I need if I'm taking the game-winning shot, I need a lot of help. I need a lot of things to happen. So I had to make sure we had a real play going on there.
I like it, Troy. Thank you for that. Coach that you're looking forward to playing for.
Danny I from NU is someone I really respect, and I would love to learn from him or play against him. Or I need to reread the question, but he's definitely a coach who I definitely respect a lot. So,
during your time in NU, was there maybe some sort of influence? Of course, Danny I came from NU, and then his son played for NU.
Yep.
Was there any interaction by any chance?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he was a coach there when I was there. Actually, he was an assistant coach, so he worked with me a lot after practice and stuff like that. So I feel like I learned a lot from him, even in my short time there, which it actually was only like 2 months. So if I ever got the chance to work with him again, that'd be great.
All right. So, Troy, what's it like leaving your hometown to pursue a career in the Philippines?
Well, I'm not going to lie. At first, it was really, really tough. Like my first couple months in the Philippines, I lived by myself. I didn't know anyone. Even just the simple things of like, where's the right place to get groceries, or like dealing with fixing the aircon and stuff. It was a whole new world to me. It was foreign, but I did have my family there, at least in the area, which helped. And it was a big jump. It was a tough transition, but like I said, I just compare it now to some of my friends who are playing basketball in a sheep village in Ukraine, and they have no connection. They don't even, they don't speak English there. So given everything else, I feel pretty lucky to have the community, and I feel kind of settled now in the Philippines.
All right. Most memorable teammates?
Has to be John Collins, my teammate at Wake Forest, plays for the Hawks now. Just guarding him every day was really tough. And then just really, really great guy too off the court. Super humble. I have a lot of good memories with him. Maybe I have more, I have best friends and stuff who I grew up with playing basketball. Those are definitely memorable teammates. But in terms of just playing with a great, great player, I think that has to be up there.
Yeah, he's my fantasy player. Paying dividends, John Collins.
He's doing pretty well this year. I think a trade might be coming soon, and then maybe he's really going to be able to put up some numbers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So speaking of teammates, now who has been your most, or maybe who has been the funniest teammate you've ever had?
Definitely Alvin Pasol. And I'm almost glad that maybe my Tagalog isn't perfect, because I can only understand 50% of the jokes he's making, and they're pretty funny. I won't share any on this podcast. Maybe I shouldn't, but he's a really funny guy.
Maybe you can treat us with one story.
It's not
it's not wholesome.
No, it's not even that it's not wholesome. I guess it just doesn't really translate that well. You know how it's kind of Filipino humor to poke fun at other each other. You know what I mean? If someone so it's kind of like that type of stuff. But it's all in good fun. But it is really funny.
But speaking of Alvin Pasol, you guys were champions in the recent 3x3 tournament. How was that like? Beating all the odds. You were the favorites, but then it was a grind getting to that ultimate goal, Troy.
Oh, it was really, really tough, especially being in the bubble. I think we were in the unique scenario where if we didn't win the championship in every single leg, or if we didn't win every single game, it was seen as a failure, because we're the national team. So especially because we win a tournament, and then usually you get to go home to your friends or your girlfriend or your family, have a little fun, but it's like we won, and then it's like boom, the next day lock right back in, we have to win again. So the mental and physical toll of it just being constant for a month straight of just having to be locked in every single second was was really tough, and I'm actually really, really proud of what we were able to accomplish together.
All right. So lastly, Troy, your message to the fans.
I just want to thank you guys so much for supporting me. I've had the best fans since I got to the Philippines. You guys have been there through the highs and lows. Thank you for continuing to support me. I hope I make you proud, and all I can promise you is that I'm gonna just continue to give it my all every time I'm on the court and just work as hard as I can to be the best basketball player I can be.
All right. So lastly, Troy, go ahead, plug your podcast, Sport Card Podcast. How can they catch it? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in sports cards, you want to learn about investing in basketball cards or soccer cards or anything like that, I have a YouTube channel, Trike 415, like my first T, and then Rike 415, and we talk about basketball cards, talk about basketball and stuff on there. So if you have any interest in that, definitely check it out.
All right, so I will definitely subscribe to your YouTube channel after this interview. Troy Rike, thank you so much for joining us here on Off the Record right here on our Fast Facts episode. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode right here on Off the Record with Migs Bustos with Troy Rike, and see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.